Projectile motions, harder questions. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to go through 3 questions. These are harder questions. All right, let's get into it. Question 1, and here is given total velocity plus horizontal component of the velocity, and then we have 3 questions. A projectile is launched with a speed of 20 meters per second. Its horizontal component of the velocity is 16 meters per second, and then we have to go through and answer 4 parts to that question. What is the vertical components of the velocity? What is the launch angle? How long will the projectile stay in the air if it lands at the same height? And how far will it travel horizontally? Okay, the first thing that we need to do, we need to actually draw a diagram. This is, here it is. The velocity is 20 meters per second. And it says that the horizontal component of it, which is right here, that is 16.0 meters per second. This is VIX, the initial horizontal component of the velocity. Now, so to find the vertical, which is this VIY, we're going to use Pythagorean. Okay, this is a right angle triangle. We're just going to simply use Pythagorean and we can get the VI. And this right here, right angle triangle. And of course, we can use this Pythagorean for to solve any other variables that we have. The A variable or B, the side, doesn't matter. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the VI, and then we're going to do the subtraction. So VIY is equal to square root of 20 squared minus 16 squared. Now I am bypassing a couple of steps here, but I'm going to put a link in the description below and in a card to review the Pythagorean again. Remember, scientific toolkit, and also the pre-calculus 11. You can check that out as well in the playlist. Make sure you follow that and then review and refresh all the algebra prerequisites for this. Okay, let's go ahead and do the math on this, and we'll get 12.0 meters per second. That is the VY, the V initial vertical component. All right, so that's the first one. That's part A. We just got part A done. Let's look at part B. What is the launch angle? Okay, well, we just want this angle theta. And now we can use anything we want. We can use tangent. We have to use trigonometry, right? That's what we want. We can use tangent, cosine, sine, but obviously tangent will be the easiest. I suggest you use something that is given to you already. So the adjacent side and the hypotenuse side is given to you. So by the way, this is part A. Part B, let's use, so I'm going to have a simplistic diagram. We have 16 here, we have 20 here. Now you could technically use the 12.0 as well, the meters per second, to use that, and that's not a big deal. But in case you made a mistake, you're not going to continue the mistakes throughout the problem. So use cosine. So cos of theta is equal to 16, adjacent over hypotenuse 20, and so cos inverse of 16 divided by 20, that will give you theta back. Okay, let's do the math on that one. And when you do the math, that's the cos inverse of 16 divided by 20. Make sure you know how to do this again. Make sure you do the review for the trigonometry and solving the angle. You have to use the second function cosine key, the cos inverse, and then 16 divided by 20, you get 53.1 degrees. That's the launch angle. That's part B. And then part C, how long will the projectile stay in the air if it lands at the same height? Excellent. So the time, the total time we want. Now, because the dy, the total distance is, vertical distance is 0. That's the displacement, by the way. So we can actually use this equation. They can use this VI yt, the initial velocity, vertical, plus 1/2 gt squared. And then we're going to go and plug numbers in. And remember, this is 0 ms dy. So that would be VIYT plus 1/2 gt squared. And then based on this, you can factor t out. You get VIY plus 1/2 GT, and then you have to set that equal to 0 because the 0 is right there, and factoring it. So that's what we did. We factored. This is Foundation Pre-Cal 10 or Algebra 1. You should be able to factor these, right? GCFs. Now, the T0 is just before launch. We know that. We're solving this equation now, right? This is the factored form is an equation. The first t is 0 before launch, time is 0, the distance is 0, and then you set the inside bracket equal to 0, right? It's an equation is basically the zero product rule. So when you set that up, you're going to solve for t. So we have VIY equal to negative 1/2 GT and divide both sides by negative half G, negative half G, because we are solving for t. All right. And then we plug numbers in. So before doing that, let's polish that. That becomes minus 2VIY divided by G. That's the equation that we have for the time. Plug numbers in. We get, so here it is. You plug numbers in, and VIY was 12 meters per second. We calculated that, and then we do the math, and we'll get 2.45 seconds. All right, that's the answer to part C. And then the last part is the range. That's the question they're asking, the last part. How far will it travel horizontally? We have the horizontal component of the velocity, 16 meters per second. We have the time that we just calculated is the same time, horizontal time, doesn't matter. And then we just want to know what the range or the distance, horizontal distance is. I'm going to call it dx. All right. And in this case, it's just simply you're solving for, this is the equation we have, d over t. We're solving for d. Rewrite this, d is equal to v times t. All right, and then plug numbers in. We have 16 meters per second times 2.45 seconds. And you'll get d equals to 39.2 meters. That is how far it travels horizontally. Okay, now let's look at the second question. Time to clear a wall, that's question 2. A ball is kicked from ground level with an initial speed of 20 meters per second at 40-degree angle above the horizontal. There is a wall 18 meters away from when it's launched. What is the height of the ball when it reaches the wall? If the wall is 2.5 meters high, does the ball clear the wall? All right, so I wrote down here all the given information. And the first thing we need to do, we need to find the components of the velocity, horizontal and vertical. And that's just straightforward. So the horizontal, initial horizontal is equal to 20 meters per second times cos of 40 degrees. Now I am hoping that now by this example, you already know how I got that. 15.3 meters per second. For the vertical, we're going to use the sine ratio with the resultant vector, which is v initial y. That will be 20 meters per second times sine of 40 degrees. And the answer in here will be 12.9 meters per second. Okay, now that we have this, we're going to find the time, and that's just too easy because we already know the distance. We have the speed of the horizontal and vertical, but in this case, we want to get the horizontal because it says reaches the wall, so the horizontal and vertical time will be the same. So we can just use that. So go ahead, and for part A, we use Vix equals to dx divided by t. And now we're solving for t, rearranging the formula, and that would be dx divided by Vix. All right, so simply we're going to substitute values, and we will have 18 meters divided by the horizontal component of the velocity, 15.3 meters per second, and our answer will be 1.18 seconds. That is the time that it reaches the wall. Okay, so now that we have the time, we can find the height at that time, okay? and because of the vertical and horizontal time is the same, so that's what we're going to use. So here is the height h or d, by the way, is remember we are using this VIYT plus 1/2 GT squared, and then we plug in numbers and we'll get 12.9 meters per second times 1.18 seconds plus 1/2 negative 9.8 meters per second squared times 1.18 squared. Okay, and when we do all of the math in here, we'll end up getting 8.39 meters. But the wall itself, it says, is 2.5 meters. So that's part B right here. It says, does the ball clear the wall? Sure it does, because the height of the projectile going across by the time it reaches the wall is 8.39 meters. So of course it does, because the wall itself, this is part B, wall is 2.5 meters, but you have 8.39 meters. So easily it will clear the wall. Let's look at another question, number 3. Okay, last question. A student wants to throw a ball to a friend standing 25 meters away at the same height. The student chooses a launch angle of 30 degrees. What initial speed required for the ball to land at the friend's position? Ignore the air resistance. So we have all the information that is written here. So the first thing we have to do, we have to go ahead and get the vertical and horizontal component of the velocity, and based on the angles that we have. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And remember that the V initial, which is the resultant vector, we don't even have that. So we just have to go and work through each of the components of the velocity. So let's write it up. So these are the two values we get for the velocity, initial velocity, based on the horizontal and vertical component. Okay, we don't have the VI. That's what we're looking for, but we do know the angle. So one is the cos of 30 times VI, the other one is sine 30 times VI, and we get these values that are in terms of VI, the V initial. And the reason we do that, we're going to solve VI later on. But one thing that we do know is that because of the same position that lands, we know that the distance, the vertical distance, delta D, is 0. And if that is 0, we're going to put in there at VI, we're going to use the formula VIYT plus 1/2 GT squared. Now let's factor T out, just like the last question that we did. We're going to factor T out, VIY plus 1/2 GT, and we want a non-zero time because just before the launch time is 0, that's irrelevant. But this, you set this one equal to 0 as we did before, and what you will get is VIY is equal to 1/2, this is negative, 1/2 GT, and we want to solve for T. And when you solve for T, the time, you'll get, this is what you get for time. And then now we can go ahead and substitute what VIY is, and which is 0.5 VI, because this is VIY, which is equal to that. So this is equal to, so T is equal to 2 times 0.5 VI divided by G, or VI divided by G. That's your time. 2 times 0.5 is 1, by the way. 1 times VI is VI. All right, so let me write this. T is equal to VI divided by G. All right, so that's what we have. That's for your time. Now that we have the time, using the horizontal distance and horizontal velocity here, and the distance, that horizontal distance, and the time, we can figure out what VIX is. So VIX, which we already know, which is 0.866 VI. So dx is 25 meters. VIX is equal to 0.866 VI. And now we can just go ahead and substitute using dx equal to VIX times t. We're going to write the equation. So d is 25 meters. VIX is 0.866 VI. That's VIX right here. And what is T? Well, T is right here. That is VI divided by 9.8 meters per second squared. That's what T is. Excellent. The only thing that is left here to deal with is the VI. Do you see that? That's the only thing we need to solve. So let's solve that. And I'm going to use the math here. So this will be just multiplying the top. And then we're solving for VI, not VI squared. But first we have to solve for VI squared. We're going to do some mathematical gymnastics. Multiply these two together, divided by 0.866. So VI squared is equal to 25 meters times 9.8 meters per second squared divided by 0.866. Here is what we get: 283 meters squared second squared. And then you have to take the square root of this value. So VI is equal to the square root of 283 meters squared second squared, and the answer will be approximately 16.8 meters per second. That is the initial launch velocity, so that the friend 25 meters away gets the ball in front of him at the angle of 30 degrees that it's been launched. All right. Make sure you check out the quiz in the description below or in pinned comment. Make sure you do practice, practice, practice. Until next time.